Hello and welcome to another book synopsis. And in this time round, we are going to look at the synopsis of a book by Kurt Vonnegut. Kurt Vonnegut. And the title of the book that we are going to give a synopsis of is The Slaughterhouse 5. That is number 5. So the title of the book is Slaughterhouse 5. Now, before we begin, it is good to tell you or let you know why this book is important for you, and maybe who is intended readership, or which kinds of groups of people that this book will appeal to. So this synopsis is the most detailed summary of the Slaughterhouse book by Kurt Vonnegut that you will ever find on the internet. Take this to the bank, and I mean it, and you will get to know that as you go on. So this is not like any other audiobook whereby you will have like 10 hours of an audio of a certain book. No. So this one is another kind, and I hope you love it and you'll enjoy it. Now, this novel will appeal to a number of several people. We can start with the first one. This novel will appeal to high school and college students who are grappling with their own questions about life, death, and the meaning of existence. Number 2, this novel will also appeal to readers who are interested in World War II. It will also appeal to, number 3, fans of science fiction and speculative fiction. We have science fiction and speculative fiction. It will also appeal to those interested in psychology and trauma. It will also appeal to fans of anti-war literature. It will also appeal to those interested in philosophical and existential questions, that is, questions of existence. It will also appeal to fans of dark humor and satire. It will also appeal to those who appreciate Vonnegut's signature blend of humor, pathos, and psychological depth. So if you are a fan of Vonnegut's writing style, this is your book. Lastly, it can also appeal to those who enjoy stories that they need them to linger in their minds long after the final page is turned on. This novel, or this synopsis that we are about to dive into, can also be a great summary to you if you are planning to either stock this book in your home library, or maybe to gift someone as a copy, as a hard copy of the book. It is also a great one to help you in making that decision, because it will help you know, is it worth it? Maybe if what you want to your kids or the person to know, or in your home library to have, is it worth it? So it's a great summary that it will help you. So what are some of the things that we shall talk about in this synopsis, or this summary of the Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut? We'll talk of the main topic of the novel. We also talk of the meaning and significance of the title, The Slaughterhouse 5. So why did Kurt decide to name this novel The Slaughterhouse 5? So you shall know that, why, the meaning and the significance, both the physical meaning, metaphorical meaning, the symbolism, and just the overall significance. I'll also give you the plot summary, a detailed plot summary of the novel. I'll also give you the themes. Or before the themes, we will talk of the genre, the publication, and the writing style of the novel. Genre simply means the literature style of writing where this book can be categorized into. I'll also give you the main characters, their roles, and some of the traits, some of the character traits or personality traits of these characters. We'll only go through the main ones, not all of them, but the main ones will make this novel such an enticing one. I'll also give you the themes which are presented in this novel, quite a number of them. I'll also give you the ways in which these themes that we shall explore in the novel are relevant today. Are they really relevant today? Do we really see them in our contemporary world? I'll give you that. So just stay with us. I'll also give you a summary of the chapter titles and the main sections of the Slaughterhouse 5 novel, or just a book. I'll give you the chapter titles in summarized way. So which means don't expect me to go chapter by chapter, detail by detail, but just the skimming of the main ones. But I promise that you'll enjoy it. I'll give you key takeaways and conclusions that we can get from this novel, that we can really apply in our lives. I'll give you the biography of Kurt Vonnegut and some really interesting facts that you should know about him. So get tuned for that. I'll also try to give you a comparison of 3 or 4 books which have the same subjects as the Slaughterhouse 5. So which some other books which you can compare to this one. I'll also give you, well, although we had started with the talking of the target audience and the people who this book is good for, I'll also give you, just look at it once more in detail. Maybe I'll give you also the reception and critical response to the novel, the people who have received the book since its publication, the responses from some of the notable people or bodies such as the Guardian, those bodies, the New York Times, the Washington Post, etc. I'll also give you a list of let's say 6 other book recommendations which are similar to the Slaughterhouse 5 that you can, after reading this book, you can have a look and continue with the same topic, the same themes if you are a fan of them or you love it. I'll also try to summarize this book with one big main point, or we can call it one big main takeaway, and I'll also expound on it once more. I'll give you key ways, or let's say several ways in which you and me can apply the lessons that we learn from this novel in real life. It is not just a novel that you feel nice after reading. It is a novel that is full of lessons that you can apply in real life, in your life today. I'll give you that. Then lastly, of course, I'll ask you to help us maybe bringing more content to you by, if you like, that is, if you, it is your choice. Maybe if you like to buy this book, you can do so. We are asking you that you'll do so through our link, that is the affiliate link that we shall put at the bottom of the description of this synopsis. Please, you'll not pay more by doing that. It's an affiliate link that will take you direct to Amazon. Doing so will be a blessing to us. So without much ado, I think we can go right into it. And remember, this is a book bites with the Vidan Meds. And well, let's go in. The main topic of Slaughterhouse 5 novel. So the main topic of Kurt Vonnegut's anti-war novel Slaughterhouse 5 is the absurdity and futility of war as experienced through the eyes of Billy Pilgrim. We have one of the main characters whom we are calling Billy, B-I-L-L-Y, then Pilgrim. An unassuming optometrist. We have the career of Billy, optometrist, who becomes unstuck in time. Billy's fragmented and non-chronological journey through his past, present, and future, including his experiences as a World War II soldier and his abduction by we have a group here which were abducting soldiers and people during the World War II, according to the novel. And this group was known as Tralfamadorians, Tralfamadorians, Tralfamadorians. This is an alien race with a unique perspective on time and death, highlights the profound impact of war on individuals and the senselessness of violence. So that is the main topic. Simply, we are talking of the World War II through the eyes of Billy Pilgrim. This is the main protagonist. He was abducted by this alien race that we are calling Tralfamadorians. And this alien race group, were unique in their own way. We shall see that as we go on. So going forward, let's look at the meaning and significance of the title Slaughterhouse-5. Why did Kurt Vonnegut decide to name this novel Slaughterhouse-5? Well, what comes to my mind when you hear the word slaughterhouse? There are many meanings or definitions, or probably there are many ideas that are running through your mind right now when you hear the term slaughterhouse. While the Slaughterhouse-5 carries multiple layers of meaning and significance, reflecting the novel's complex themes and author's intentions. Let's see at the literal meaning. Literally, what does Slaughterhouse-5 mean? Now, on a literal level, Slaughterhouse-5 refers to the underground meat locker in Dresden, Germany, where Billy Pilgrim, the novel's protagonist, and other American prisoners of war are sheltered during the firebombing of the city in World War II. So, according to the novel, Slaughterhouse-5 is a name. It's a name of a place. It's a locker, an underground meat locker in Dresden, which is in Germany. So, this seemingly innocuous occasion becomes a site of great and immense suffering and death, marking a turning point in Billy's life and contributing to his unstuck state of time. So that is the literal meaning. It is a place, a locker room, underground, a place of suffering, a place of death that Billy was locked. When you go deeper into the metaphorical meaning, what metaphorical meaning of this title? So beyond the literal meaning, Slaughterhouse-5 serves as a powerful metaphor for the senseless violence and destruction of war. So, of course, you know what a slaughterhouse is. What happens in a slaughterhouse? Connect that. It is a metaphor. So the slaughterhouse simply is a place where animals are routinely killed for human consumption. And this becomes a symbol of industrialized slaughter of human beings in modern warfare. Are you connecting now? The number 5 is often associated with death in numerology, further emphasizing the novel's exploration of mortality and the fragility of life. Slaughterhouse, because you know that, the literal meaning. 5, it is a number in the numerology that simply is associated with death. So what is the symbolism of the slaughterhouse? So slaughterhouse itself holds symbolic significance. Its underground location suggests a descent into a hellism realm, a place of darkness and despair, where humanity's capacity for barbarity is laid bare. Hell, underground, slaughterhouse, get that? So the contrast between the slaughterhouse's intended purpose, the preservation and processing of meat, and its actual transformation into a site of mass death underscores the absurdity and futility of war. So that is the symbolism of the slaughterhouse. Now the overall significance of this title. So the title Slaughterhouse-5 effectively encapsulates the novel's central themes of war, trauma, and the fragility of existence. It serves as a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of conflict, the profound impact it has on individuals, and the challenges of grappling with such experiences. This title's metaphorical and symbolic layers add depth and complexity, and I invite you to contemplate on the broader implications of war and its enduring effects on humanity as we go along throughout this novel. So far, we've talked of the meaning and significance of the title, The Slaughterhouse Five, and I hope now you have a better idea of what it means, the symbolism, the literal, the metaphorical, and the significance. So let's go to the plot summary of the Slaughterhouse Five novel or book. So the story, of course, as you've seen, the main character, who we call the protagonist, was Billy Pilgrim. He was a soldier in the World War II, but he was abducted by an alien race that you've named. Can you remember that? Tral? I'm waiting for you to finish on that. Tral what? Tralfamadorians. So this was an alien race which was in a way unique in its way, as you shall see. So Billy's journey begins in his childhood, where his gentle and introspective nature sets him apart from his peers. As a young man, he is drafted into the army and finds himself thrust into the chaos of World War II. His experiences take a gruesome turn during the Battle of the Bulge, where he is captured by the Germans and eventually taken to a slaughterhouse in Dresden. So the slaughterhouse, which we've said was an underground meat locker, becomes Billy's sanctuary during the firebombing of Dresden, a devastating aerial attack that decimates the city and leaves tens of thousands dead. Sheltered from the carnage above, Billy witnesses the aftermath of the bombing, a scene of utter destruction and human suffering that leaves him deeply traumatized. Amidst the horrors of war, Billy's life takes an extraordinary turn when he is abducted by the Tralfamadorians, an alien race with a unique perspective on time and existence. They believe that all moments in time exist simultaneously, rendering the concepts of past, present, and future irrelevant. This revelation challenges Billy's understanding of his own life as he becomes unstuck in time, able to experience moments from his past, present, and future in a non-linear fashion. So Billy's fragmented existence continues as he returns to civilian life, working as an optometrist and raising a family. However, the trauma of Dresden is the place that is the underground locker room, and his unstuck state in time leave him emotionally detached and unable to fully connect with those around him. He finds solace in his encounters with the Tralfamadorians, seeking comfort in their fatalistic view of life and death. So as the novel progresses, Billy's temporal journeys become more frequent and unpredictable, interweaving in his past, present, and future into memories and experiences. He revisits his childhood, his wartime experiences, and his encounters with the Tralfamadorians, grappling with the meaning of life, death, and the absurdity of existence. In the novel's closing moments, Billy returns to Tralfamadore, accepting the nonlinear view of life and finding a sense of peace in their acceptance of death. He comes to terms with his own mortality, embracing the interconnectedness of all moments and the futility of dwelling on the past or fearing the future. So that is all about the plot summary. We've talked of Billy's childhood, how his character, personality set him apart from his peers. We've also seen that as he grew up, he was drafted into the army, and in that process of being in the army, he found himself in the World War II. There was this battle that we've called the Battle of the Bulge, Bulge, the Battle of the Bulge, whereby the Germans, now he was captured by the Germans and then taken into the slaughterhouse. The slaughterhouse, which was a meat locker room, we've said was a devastating place. There was war that was happening in the city. Remember, he was underground with some others. So there was a bombing in the city and there was destruction. The city was simply destroyed. So, but Billy, during that time, his life took a turn, an extraordinary turn we've seen, when he, from the underground locker room, was abducted by the alien race, which were funny in their way. And through that, Billy, in a way, he returned to his normal life as an optometrist, as you've seen, raising a family. But he was still traumatized by the memories, the Tralfamadorians, philosophy or way of thinking, fatalistic view of life and death. So Billy struggled with these traumas, these memories, for long throughout, until he decided to seek solace and peace with the Tralfamadorians. So he returned to them. He had to accept their view of time in the bid to find sense and peace. And then the novel continues, and we've said that he came into terms with his own mortality, embracing all the moments in life. Now, here are some summary key plot points that, of course, we've said. So we've begun with Billy's Pilgrim, that is Billy Pilgrim's childhood. That is where the novel starts. We then went to World War II and the firebombing of Dresden. So whereby Billy was now in the army and served in the Battle of the Bulge. But in that war, he was captured by the Germans, and he eventually ends up in the locker room. Now, Billy's unstuck in time. He was unstuck in time. Billy's time traveling ability emerges, allowing him to move between different moments in his past, present, and future. He encountered the Tralfamadorians. Then we have the post-war life struggles when he now returns to the civilian life. And then we have the final journey and the acceptance. He has to accept the Tralfamadorians' way of living. He has to accept the nonlinear view of life and the concept of so it goes sinks in him. So that's all about the summary and the plot. Now let's go to the genre, the publication, and the writing style of the Slaughterhouse 5. So when we talk of genre, in literature we talk of the category where we can place this novel or a certain book. So if when we've looked at that summary of the story that we've had so far of Slaughterhouse 5, where can we place Slaughterhouse 5 novel in? Which genre, which category of literature? So Slaughterhouse 5 is a work of metafiction. And metafiction is a genre that blends fiction with self-referential and philosophical elements. It is also considered, this novel is also considered an anti-war novel, which is a genre that explores the negative effects of war on individuals and society. Publication of this novel, it was first published in 1969 by Delacote Press, Delacote Press, I'm sorry for that, Delacote Press. The novel was an immediate critical and commercial success, and it has since been translated into more than 40 languages. Now, when you look at the book, there is a writing style that Kurt Vonnegut uses in his writing of this book, of this novel. So his writing style is characterized by dark humor, irony, and a conversational tone. He is also known for use of short sentences, simple vocabulary, and unconventional narrative structures, whereby his writing style is often described as accessible and humanistic. So we've talked of dark humor, whereby Vonnegut uses dark humor to cope with the horrors of war. For example, he describes the firebombing of Dresden as a night of fun and the death of thousands of people as a zoo. So that is dark humor. So look at that. It is humor, but it's dark. He describes firebombing of Dresden as a night of fun. And then the thousands of the death of people was a zoo, an animal zoo, right? Like it is dark humor. You can see that. So you also have irony. We've also talked of irony. So Vonnegut uses irony to highlight the absurdity of war. For example, he described the soldiers as children and the war as a game. Look at that irony. The soldiers who are fighting, who are dying, are described as children, and the war is simply a game. Conversational tone is another writing style that we've talked about. So the writing style of Vonnegut is conversational. It is as if he is telling the story directly to you, the reader, and this is to help create a sense of intimacy and immediacy. When you have a story that is created in such a way, you always feel intimate, you are connected to the author. Then we also talked of short sentences. So short sentences, Vonnegut's sentences are often short and to the point. This helps to keep the pace of the story moving and to make his writing accessible to a wide audience. We've also talked of simple vocabulary, whereby Vonnegut uses simple vocabulary that is easy to understand, and this makes his writing accessible to readers of all ages and educational backgrounds. Now, so that's all about the writing style, which we've said is unique and effective, and to make the Slaughterhouse 5 a powerful and moving novel about the horrors of war and the search for meaning in life. Let's look at now the main characters, their roles, and some of their traits. So we have some main characters, such as, of course, I know now you are aware of Billy Pilgrim. Of course, we have others. So the first main character is Billy Pilgrim, who is the novel's protagonist. He's an unassuming optometrist who becomes unstuck in time, experiencing moments from his life in a non-chronological order. His experiences as a World War II soldier, particularly his witness to the firebombing of Dresden, profoundly impact his psyche, contributing to his unstuck state and his struggle to make sense of the world. Some of the key traits of Billy are: he is gentle and introspective. He is a pacifist and non-confrontational. He is prone to detachment and emotional unavailability. He is also haunted by the trauma of war. His role, we've said, is the central figure through whom the novel's themes of war, trauma, and the absurdity of existence are explored. His unstuck state in time mirrors the fragmented nature of memory and the challenges of reconciliating past experiences with the present. We have another group of characters which we've called the Tralfamadorians. This was said is an alien race with a unique perception of time, believing that all moments in time exist simultaneously. There is nothing like past, present, or future. They exist at the same time. What is that now? So their fatalistic view of life and death challenges Billy's conventional understanding of existence and offers a perspective on the interconnectedness of all moments. What are some of their traits? They are emotionally detached and indifferent to human suffering. They view death as a mere transition from one moment to the next. They believe that the past, present, and the future coexist. Their role in this novel, they act as foils, that is Foils, to Billy's human perspective, providing an alternative view of time and existence. Their presence challenges Billy to confront the absurdity of life and death and to find a way to reconcile his own experiences with their fatalistic worldview. We have Bernard O'Hare, or O'Hare, as you'll pronounce it. The spelling is that's Bernard, of course, Bernard. Then O'Hare, we have O, like apostrophe there. Then you have Hare. So how do we pronounce that? Let me know in the comment sections below. So Bernard is a fellow soldier and a close friend to Billy during World War II. Bernard is also a more assertive and pragmatic character, often serving as a foil to Billy's gentle and passive nature. Their friendship highlights the contrasting views in which individuals cope with the horrors of war. Some of the key traits of Bernard include resourceful. He is resourceful and pragmatic. He is more assertive and worldly than Billy. He struggles with the emotional toll of war. His role in the novel, Bernard represents the more typical response to the trauma of war, demonstrating the psychological impact of conflict and the challenges of maintaining emotional connection amidst adversity. We have another fourth character who we'll call or is referred to as Roland Wary. Roland Wary. He is a fellow soldier and a friend to Billy also, like Bernard, during the World War II. Ronald, or is it Roland? Roland. Did I say Ronald? He's Roland. So Roland is a more cynical and world-weary character. He represents the dark side of human nature, embodying the potential for despair and bitterness in the face of war's brutality. His key traits include he is cynical and disillusioned. He struggles with alcoholism and self-destructive behavior. He is haunted by guilt and regret. Now, his role in the novel is that he serves as a counterpoint to Billy's innocence and naivety, highlighting the psychological toll of war and the ways in which individuals can be shaped by its horrors. We still have another character, Edgar Darby. Edgar Darby is Billy's father-in-law, a wealthy and eccentric businessman. Edgar's eccentric personality and obsession with wealth provide a stark contrast to Billy's introspective nature and offer a commentary on American society's materialistic values. His key traits include he is wealthy and eccentric, he is preoccupied with material possessions and social class, he is oblivious to the realities of war and its impact on individuals. So, what is his role in this novel? Edgar Darby represents the superficiality and materialism that can overshadow the deeper realities of human existence, highlighting the contrast between Billy's internal struggles, and the external world's preoccupation with superficial values. Now we love the last character as per this synopsis. Remember, there are many others, but we only talk of the main ones. So we have Kilgore Trout. Kilgore is Kilgore. Trout is Trout. I know maybe you might have different pronunciations, but that doesn't make much sense as long as we understand the concept here, or how the spellings are. So Kilgore is a science fiction writer whose novels often explore themes of time travel and alien encounters. Kilgore Trout's works serve as a literary device, mirroring Billy's own experiences and providing a metafictional commentary on the nature of storytelling and blurring of reality and fiction. Some of the key traits include he is eccentric and unconventional. He is obsessed with science fiction and the exploration of alternate realities. He serves as a literary foil to the novel's main narrative. Well, so those are the main characters, their traits, and their roles. Let's go ahead to some of the themes which are presented in the Slaughterhouse 5 novel. There are several themes. One of them is the absurdity of war. War is absurd, the absurdity of war. So at its core, Slaughterhouse 5 is an anti-war novel that exposes the senselessness and brutality of armed conflict and Billy's experiences as a soldier in World War II, particularly in the bombing of Dresden, serve as a stark reminder of the human cost of war. And in this novel, Vonnegut's vivid descriptions of the destruction and suffering underscore the absurdity of war, its futility, and its profound impact on individuals and society. Now, the second theme that we can get from this book is the nature of time. One of the novel's most distinctive features is its exploration of time and its nonlinear nature. Billy's unstuck state allows him to explore moments from his past, present, and future in a random and unpredictable order. This unconventional narrative structure challenges our conventional understanding of time, suggesting that the past, present, and future are not linear, but rather coexisting realities. Will you agree with that? Well, let's know in the comment section. The third theme is the meaning of life and death. The Tralfamadorians' unique perspective on time and death raises profound questions about the meaning of existence. Their belief that all moments in time exist simultaneously challenges traditional notions of morality and the afterlife. Billy's encounters with the Tralfamadorians force him to confront his own mortality and grapple with the seemingly random and meaningless nature of life and death. We also have other themes such as the power of storytelling and the importance of memory, the significance of individuality, the role of humor, the impact of trauma, and the search for meaning. So I have left those, I'll not explain those themes intentionally because I need you to check at our website vidanmeds.com/blog so that you can get a write-up of this synopsis. So I'll ask you kindly to go to vidanmeds.com. I'll leave the link to the website down in the description below so that you can go to the blog section, have a look, and read more about those other themes that we've not talked about. So I want us to now go ahead to talk about how these themes are relevant in today's world. Despite the book being published in 1969 with several themes in there, as we've talked, Are they still relevant today? And the answer is yes. So how? Let's begin the first one that we talked, the absurdity of war. Look, at the moment of recording this, if Israel and Palestine are fighting, there's a war, there's bombing. Just the other day, we had Russia and was it Iran? I'm not sure. I'm not sure with if I've gotten it well. But there was a war before the one that is in existence right now, that is in Israel. So have we reached as a world a place where there is no fighting? There are no wars between countries? No. So the world has not yet reached a point where war is obsolete. In recent years, conflicts have erupted in various parts of the globe, causing immense suffering and destruction. The novel's depiction of the firebombing of Dresden serves as a reminder of the devastating impact of war and the human cost of armed conflicts. The other theme that we talked about was the nature of time. Our understanding of time continues to evolve, with scientific advancements challenging traditional notions of linear progression. The novel's exploration of nonlinear time resonates with contemporary discussions about the multiverse and the possibility of parallel universes. You remember the metaverse, right? So the meaning of life and death is another theme that we've talked about. So questions about the meaning of life and death remain at the forefront of human consciousness. Everyone wants to have a meaningful life. Advancements in medicine and technology have extended human lifespans, but these advancements have also intensified our awareness of mortality. The novel's exploration of these themes offers a unique perspective on the human condition and the quest for meaning in a finite existence. Then we also have the other themes that I've told you to go and check. You will also find how they are relevant in today's world. That is the power of storytelling, the importance of memory, significance of individuality, and the role that is the role of humor and the impact of trauma. Please go and have that. We also have the search for meaning. Please go and check that in our website vidanmeds.com/blog or blogs. Let's go ahead to the next section, whereby we will talk about the summary of chapter titles and main sections of the Slaughterhouse 5 novel. So this is for summary purposes. It's a synopsis. So probably just to make it simpler, I'll say that we can divide the book into several parts. How many parts? 7 of them. Each part with, of course, distinct chapters. In part 1, whereby you can have chapter 1, 2, and 3, you can have Billy, that is the chapters which introduces Billy Pilgrim and his journey through time, highlighting his unstuck existence and his capture by the Telfamadorians. So we can also have Billy's experiences as a World War II soldier, focusing on his capture by the Germans and his time in a prisoner of war camp. In part 2, we can have chapters 4, 5, and 6, whereby you have the firebombing, devastating attack. We can continue to explore Billy's experience during the firebombing and its aftermath. We can have his experiences, Billy's experiences in the war. Then that is part 3, we can have Billy's abduction by the Telfamadorians. We can have now also the Telfamadorians' concept of time, explaining their belief and that all moments exist simultaneously and that death is merely a transition. We can also have that Billy's time with the Telfamadorians, showcasing their impact on his perception, how they affected him. In part 4, we can have Billy returned to the civic life, that is post-war life, as an optometrist. and his attempts to reconcile his wartime trauma with his civilian life. We can have in that still part 4 Billy trying to have memories and trying to grapple with the new reality. Then we can also have another part 5, whereby that part can center on Billy's public life as an optometrist, showing his professional achievements and his family life. His struggles also continue. Then we can have part 6 highlighting Billy's final journey to the 12th Amador, showcasing his acceptance to the nonlinear view of time and his finding peace in their philosophy. And also have his experiences with them. Then we can have the conclusion of the novel with the reflection, etc. So that is about the summary of the main sections of the novel. Key takeaways and conclusions from the Slaughterhouse 5. What can we take away, or what can we conclude from this novel? I'm sure now you've gotten the idea that it's about a war and the trauma, the experiences, the pain of war. So one of the takeaways that we can get is war is a senseless and destructive force that leaves lasting psychological scars. Number 2, our perception of time is subjective and may not reflect the true nature of existence. Number 3, the meaning of life is not found in grand narratives but in simple moments of our existence. Number 4, storytelling can help us confront trauma and make sense of our experiences. And number 5, the purpose of life is not to find meaning in suffering, but to find beauty and compassion in the midst of it. Those are some of the great takeaways and conclusions that you can take from this novel. Let's now go ahead to talk of the bio, or the biography of Kurt Vonnegut, and some interesting facts about him. Kurt Vonnegut, remember, he is the author of this book. So, Kurt Vonnegut Jr. was born in November 11, 1922, and he died in April 11, 2007. And he was an American author and humorist, humor from the word humor, known for his satirical and darkly humorous novels, which often explored themes of war, alienation, and the human condition. Vonnegut's works are characterized by their unique blend of humor, philosophy, and social commentary, and they have earned him a reputation as one of the most important and influential American novelists of the 20th century. He was born in Indianapolis, in Indiana, to Kurt Sr., a successful architect, and Edith, a homemaker. Vonnegut grew up in a wealthy family, but his childhood was marked by the Great Depression, which led to financial difficulties for the family. However, he attended Cornell University, majoring in chemistry, but he dropped out in 1943 to join the US Army. He was captured by the Germans during World War II and was held as a prisoner of war in Dresden, Germany. Vonnegut survived the firebombing of Dresden, an event that would have a profound impact on his writing. Now, after the war, Vonnegut worked as a writer and teacher before publishing his first novel, which was titled Player Piano in 1952. The novel was a critical and commercial success, and it established Vonnegut as a major American writer. Over the next few decades, Vonnegut published a number of other successful novels, including The Sirens of Titan, Mother Night, Cat's Cradle, and now The Slaughterhouse 5. The Slaughterhouse 5, a autobiographical novel about Vonnegut's experiences as a prisoner of war in Dresden is considered his masterpiece. So Vonnegut's novels are characterized by their dark humor, their satirical take on American society, and the exploration of philosophical themes. Now, he was married 4 times and had 3 children. He struggled with alcoholism and depression for much of his life, and he died at the age of 84 in New York City in 2007. So from that biography, you can sample out some interesting facts about Kurt Vonnegut Jr., the author of this novel. So I have 5 of them. So Vonnegut was a humanist and pacifist, which means he was a strong critic of war, and he often spoke out against violence and injustice. Number 2, Vonnegut was a popular speaker and lecturer. He was known for his witty and insightful talks, which often drew large crowds. Number 3, Vonnegut was a strong advocate for free speech and free expression. He was a member of the American Civil Liberties Union, and he often spoke out against censorship. Number 4, Vonnegut was a fan of science fiction, and he often used science fiction elements in his writing. And lastly, Vonnegut was a jazz fan, and he often played jazz music while writing. His legacy still continues. So he is considered one of the most important and influential American novelists in the 20th century and the 21st. His novels are still widely read and studied today, and they continue to resonate with readers for their humor, their insights into the human condition, and their exploration of important social and political issues. Let's now go ahead to comparison of the Slaughterhouse 5 to other books on the same subject. There are several books that can be compared, and I'll just mention them, but you can get a deeper comparison in our website, as we've mentioned. So one of the books is Catch 22. We have a book named Catch 22 by Joseph Heller. You can get both the similarities and the differences between Catch 22 and the Slaughterhouse 5. Another book is The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. The Things They Carried. You can still get the similarities and the differences also. The third book that we can compare is All Quiet on the Western Front by Eric Maria Remarque. You can still get the similarities and differences from our website, vidanmeds.com/blogs. You can search in the search bar those books that we've said they are compared to Slaughterhouse 5. So we also talked of the target audience in the beginning of this synopsis, but it's also good to mention them once again very quickly. So this book is can be used by high school and college students, those who are grappling with their own questions about life, death, and the meaning of existence. Fans of anti-war literature, those who love literature of post-war. This is a powerful and thought-provoking book to help you in that. It can also be used by those interested in philosophical and existential questions, exploration of time, death, and meaning of life. Fans of dark humor and satire, this is yours. So here are some of the factors to consider when determining the target audience for Slaughterhouse 5. Number 1 is the maturity level. This novel contains mature themes and language that may not be appropriate for younger readers. So children, this might not be their book because of the complex and mature themes. Another factor that we might check is the interest in history and war. So this novel is set in World War II and includes graphic depictions of violence and suffering. So will you mind reading such a book or understanding about the World War II and the devastating effects or impacts? This can be one of your great reads. Another factor is openness to unconventional storytelling. So those are about some of the factors to consider before if you want to determine if this book is yours. And we've talked about the target audience. Let's go ahead now to the reception and critical response to the Slaughterhouse 5 novel. Since its publication in 1969, it has received mixed reviews, both positive and negative. It has been recognized as a classic of American literature. And some of the initial critical reception of the Slaughterhouse 5 is that some of the critics praised the novel's originality and its powerful anti-war message, while others found its dark humor and unconventional narrative structure to be off-putting. Some of the positive reviews from, for example, New York Times, one of the reviews is a novel that will not be forgotten. The Washington Post, a masterpiece of American fiction. Some of the negative reviews from some places, from some critics. The New Yorker said that a novel that is not only badly written but also morally reprehensible. The Atlantic said that this is a novel that is more interested in shock value than in serious thought. The Saturday Review also said that this is a novel that is ultimately disappointing and fails to live up to its potential. Now, the novel has been, so as we go on, the response, and that is the critical acclaim, the novel has also been selected for numerous awards and honors, such as the National Book Award in 1969, the Hugo Award in 1970, the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers of America Nebula Award in 1970 also, and the Modern Library's 100 Best Novels of the 20th Century. It happened to be in number 18. So there are some books which I also recommend, which have similar themes, or they are related to Slaughterhouse 5, that you can also check. Some of them are the same books that we said they compare. So one of them was Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. Catch-22 by Joseph Heller. The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. The second one. The third one is All Quiet on the Western Front by Eric Maria. Another one is The Road by Cormac McCarthy. Then you can have the last one is Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. Those are strong and great books that are related to Slaughterhouse 5 that you can also check and have a read. We also have their synopsis, both in audio and in written form. You can have them in our website. Now, as I wind up, I want to give the biggest takeaway from this Slaughterhouse 5 synopsis, and the biggest takeaway is that war is senseless and destructive force that leaves lasting psychological scars. Let me repeat it once again. The biggest takeaway is that war is senseless and destructive force that leaves lasting psychological scars. Now, it is not just a book to read and feel nice and question about war and it was a nice read. No, there are some lessons that I hope you have learned or you will learn while you read that book, and maybe you might be wondering how we can apply such lessons in real life. So I want to give you some great ways, great examples of specific ways we can use the knowledge from this book in real life. Number one, question the justification for war. Question that, the justification for war. The novel's graphic depiction of the horrors of war can prompt us to critically examine the reasons for going to war and the human cost involved. Number two, emphasize the importance of human life. The novel's portrayal of the suffering and death caused by war can remind us of the preciousness of human life and the need to protect it. Number 3, challenge our perceptions of time. The novel's exploration of nonlinear time can encourage us to question our conventional understanding of time and to appreciate the interconnectedness of all moments. The next one, seek meaning in the present moment. The Tralfamadorian's perspective on time and death can inspire us to find meaning and joy in the present moment, despite the challenges and the uncertainties of life. The next one, utilize the power of storytelling. The novel's demonstration of storytelling's ability to convey difficult truths and make sense of trauma can encourage us to use storytelling as a tool for understanding and confronting challenges in our own lives. Develop compassion and empathy. That's another one. The novel's portrayal of the impact of war on individuals can foster compassion and empathy for those affected by conflict and violence. Promote peace and understanding. That is another one. The novel's anti-war message can encourage us to advocate for peace and understanding, working towards a world free from violence and conflict. Engage in critical thinking about current events. Support organizations working to alleviate the suffering of war victims. How you can do this? Donate to or volunteer with organizations that provide aid and support to those affected by conflict. Another one is promote dialogue and understanding between different cultures. How do you do this? Engage in conversations and initiatives that foster understanding and appreciation of diverse perspectives. Another way is to encourage peaceful conflict resolution. How? By advocating for a non-violent approach to resolving conflicts, both personal and societal. Then lastly, you can embrace the interconnectedness of humanity. And how can you do this? By recognizing that our actions and decisions have an impact on others and strive to create a more just and compassionate world for all. So by applying these lessons and insights from the Slaughterhouse 5 to our daily lives, we can work towards a world that is more peaceful, compassionate, and understanding. One that values human life, strives to resolve conflicts without resorting to violence. And that's all about this synopsis of the Slaughterhouse 5 by Kurt Vonnegut. Thank you for your time. Let's have your views or your thoughts about this book, about this synopsis in the comment section. Whether you are listening it as a podcast, you can give us a review and a rating. If you are having it on YouTube, you can subscribe, you can like, and you can leave a comment below. Thank you so much for your time. This was brought to you by vidanmeds.com. Thank you. Let's meet in our next synopsis. Bye bye.